Hello, slow parenting family from across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us today for another interesting, exciting episode of our program, your program, the Slow Parenting Program. Thank you so much. It's still the same time of the day of the week, every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and at 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria, that will come to you with some tonic, and some nuggets that you need to do your parenting job. Like we said on this program, parenting is a full-time, lifetime job. You can't resign. It doesn't mean you don't have rights as parents. You do have. You can exercise them too, but it's a natural thing. You can cease to be a parent, as it were, but then you can take decisions that help you keep your mental health in check, and then while you continue to um, pray for the children and look forward to they're getting on with what they have to do and be where they need to be. So welcome to another episode of the Slow Parenting Program. Today, we this is the second episode of season 3 of the Slow Parenting Program, and today we're just going to be looking at a young man's wish, okay, if you like, request. And we have titled it, Mom, Can I Have the Moon? A young man is asking the mother if he could have the moon, as in he's on planet Earth, but he wants the moon. You know what that means. Well, if you really don't get that, as we go on the course of the program, maybe you'll get to have a deeper understanding of what this is all about. Well, it's still about our children having to do the right things at the right time, have the right focus, right passions for the levels. Life is in stages, it's in levels. We need to prepare them to know that, whilst not, shielding them from, well, if you like, necessary risk taken. There are risks that are necessary in life to be taken. Relationship is one risk that nobody can avoid. So yes, our children can go into calculated risk taking, let's say getting relationships started, even with their friends, whether males or females, but at the right times, okay, at the right times, having done the right things, following the right sequence. That's the whole idea, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, and as usual, I'm not usually alone on this program, but as the other resource persons come online, I'll have them introduced, and then we go on with what we need to discuss today, which is, Mom, can I have the moon? That's a big ask. There's a story in the Bible, that's close but very expensive as well. Daughter, come dance for my guests. Come dance for my guests. Come, just come. The father kept saying, come and dance for my guests. And the young girl said, I don't want to dance. He says, okay, ask for anything, even if it's even up to half of my kingdom. Ask, I will give you. Just come dance with us. Um, that's a biblical story of Herod and John the Baptist and all of that. And the mother had another agenda, really had a very sinister agenda, and goes to the daughter and says, what's your problem? Go dance with your father, and then tell him you want the head of John the Baptist. So this young man is saying to the mother, Mom, can I have the moon? Mom, can I have the moon? So pay attention, please, people. At this point, I want to welcome Bolu Atiwi Ayo Paliki. Bolu, welcome. We missed you last episode very much. Welcome. Let's see your beautiful face. Let's hear your.
Thank you, sir. I missed you all too. I missed you. Good evening.
Wow, I have a confession to make right now.
Okay.
I was almost like, I want to look Nigerian today. I'm like, oh no, let me just get into something. So now I'm jealous. Maybe I should change my attire. from this shoot and thing and then begin to.
Oh my goodness.
You're looking colorful, you know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Yawale will be joining us. He's in transit. He will join us when he comes in. When he gets here, he will come in, and as well as Mrs. Banjo and then Mrs. Shola. We're still expecting Tom Adireli. They'll join us as they come in. They will make their own contributions. Right now, I have Bolu. Bolu, here's our story for this week. So let me lay it out again. But I like to be seeing your face when I'm laying it out too, so that I can capture the expressions, you know, to know how I'm doing or how I'm not doing. Okay. If you could come on camera, Bolu, please. Thank you.
I'm back.
Yeah, back. Be back, please. Stay back. Stay here. And Professor Wale has joined us to welcome Professor Wale. He's just signing in. And our story today, Bolu, is welcome, Professor Wale. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome, Prof.
Okay. Our story for today is about a young high school graduate, secondary school in Nigeria, a high school graduate. He just wrote the high school exams last 3 weeks, okay? And obviously has a good communication relationship with the mother, which is what we advocate here. Yes. Okay, and now says to the mom, you know, I don't hide anything from you. And the mother goes, yes, I know you don't hide anything from me. Bolu, you've run away again. Can we stay on camera, guys? You touch your camera again and you disappeared.
I'm right here. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm right here.
No, but then your camera went. Yeah,
okay.
it did. Yeah, sure. Okay, sorry, you muted, but you are okay now. Now, this young man has, from the conversation, by the way, this is not his kid, okay? This is not a made-up story. It's not his kid. This is a real life situation, okay? And this young man, from the conversation, from the communication, has a good communication relationship with the mother. It's the last child of the family. The mother, there are 3 of them. They are all men, okay, all boys, all males, okay. He was the last one, and he just written his high school exam, and then sends a message to his mom. Mom, well, I have something I want to discuss with you. You know, I don't hide anything from you. And the mother says, yes, go ahead. Yes, I know you don't hide anything from me. Say, well, I met a girl. You know, she's right. Mention the name. And I met a girl. I like her very much. She means so much to me. She actually says it means the world to me, and I want to be with her till eternity. Okay, I want to be with her for eternity. I'm like, okay, all right. And the mother gets to ask, well, the right question. Oh, okay, right. Who is this girl? The son says, where is she from? The son answers, and then the son goes, oh, he's at 100 level. Okay, it's 100 level in the university. And the mother asked the question, does she know your level? And the son says, yes, she knows my level. And say, and still wants to date, still likes you, even with your, he said, yes. How old is she? He doesn't know. He didn't know. And the mother says, go and find out about her age, more about her family. Do the parents know about this? They said yes. The boy has actually like yes. She has actually agreed to date him. Okay, that she had actually agreed to date him, and the mother said, "Do the parents know about this development?" He says, "Yes, the parents are aware." That's the backdrop of our story. Okay, talking points. He's 17. He's just written his high school exam, which is secondary school exam. The girl in question is already is in the university. Okay? We do not know the age of the girl. And this is an outcry from a mother. That's why I'm saying to you, it is not a skit. It is not a made-up story. So this is actually an outcry from a mother. Say, what do I do? Okay. So the question now, Bolu, is if you are the mother, what will be your reaction? What would you do? You have 17-year-old children. You are on mute, Bolu. You are on mute. You are unmuted.
Oh, okay. So my first reaction is shock. Good evening, everyone. My first reaction is just shock. But I would ensure that I'm going to be as real as possible, and I would be unafraid to show my
wait.
shock.
Could you repeat that? You're going to be as mean? Did you say mean?
No, I said I'm going to be as plain and as vulnerable as possible.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm going to show my shock. Frankly speaking, I'm also going to have some bit of disgust, but I will try not to let that part show. So I hope that my face will not tell too much, that my face will not have that many telltale signs. That if my face can show shock without showing disgust in the mix, then that would be great. But yes, shock, and then breathe in, breathe out, sit down, let's have a conversation. And I'm saying as truthful as I can, because I've had instances where my older children have made decisions that I questioned, but I've learned very early on, because of my own life as well, to be particular about having conversations with them. And that's me being truthful now. To say, what informed this? What do you think love is? What do you think we stand for? Like, can you remind me of all that we are about as a family? The tenets that drive us, our value system, our code of ethics. Can you please just remind me? Can I dial back a bit? I want to be certain that it's still my son I'm talking to, in case he has been overtaken by another spirit. Oh my goodness. So yes, having established that, I really am curious to see where the conversation will lead. What has this person shown you, done to you, presented before you? What perception do you have of this person that made you come to that decision, the choice that you're about to make? What informed it? Because understanding the backstory and perhaps where it's coming from, for me, would be an opportunity to help him to redirect. It would be an opportunity for me to help him remember who he is in case he's forgotten. And because it's not a real story for me, I'm trying to make it as real as possible, but it's not really real.
Hold on. I will stop you there. I'm sorry to jump in. It is a real story. No jokes.
I mean, I know it's real. What I'm saying is that because, many times when you're having a conversation with someone, their responses, like an open-ended conversation, right? Open-ended questions, rather. Their responses would often, more than not, determine my next line of question. If you get what I mean. So I don't know what possible response that he can give me. But my immediate reaction, like I said, would be shock. I'll try to hide disgust, and then I'll try to narrow it down to exactly what, why, which, how, and all the other, whenever, whichever, whoever, whom,
Okay.
All the possible questions I can ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bolu, welcome to the real world. Okay, you have landed. The shock has gone away. Okay. Now, yes. Okay. So this is the real world.
Let me come in. If she's
okay, Professor Wale, please come in. Okay, thank you.
Professor, please, you have the floor, sir. The mic is absolutely yours.
You see,
we can't see you, Prof. We can't see you.
I'm in transit. I sent you a message.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
And you see, this story, I have read it. I have tried to digest it, look at it from different perspectives. Number one is that what I love there is the openness of the boy. I mean, relationship between the boy and the mother. which is if it is a very good what we call safe space in psychology for son and mother to be able to discuss together, listen and without judgment. Now, the second thing that is there is that the boy said he wants to be with the girl till eternity. That is because he's just infatuated now. Because love that you do not build cannot last till eternity. So he doesn't understand that. So based on that, these are the things I will recommend for the mother. The mother will need to continue with the open and honest communication with the boy. Ensure that that gap is not closed, so that you will be giving him full attention whenever the boy talks about his feelings. That's very important. And this will help the mother and the boy to understand the better perspective that could come up. Now, as they start that discussion, the mother will need to discuss the following, which I call number one is there is need to set boundaries and expectation. Yes, you are 17. That girl is likely, if it's university year one already, the girl is likely 18 also, or even maybe 17 also, depending on maybe 17 also. But at least let's just assume that they are age mate and the girl, maybe started, just got opportunity. There is need for the mother to continue to talk to the boy so that the boy will be able to grow and understand that what is required now is age appropriate relationship, so that and then be able to establish clear guidelines for him in terms of when to spend time together, respect each other, and all of those things. The mother has a lot of job to do now. If not, emotions will take over and there will be a lot of distractions which can lead to one thing or the other. And before you know it, within the next 2 years, the boy will say he's no more interested in the lady again after they have, understood and know themselves very well. And so, I will suggest that the mother has a great job to do in terms of offering guidance regularly, being supportive, and at the same time also teaching him how to ensure that he maintains realistic expectation. And once that is done, the principle of trust will be built between the son and the mother. In fact, it will be stronger because there is trust before. That's why the boy will come to the mother. So that the mother also will believe in his ability to make sound decisions even when he is under pressure. And then the mother needs to also tell the boy, that he needs to give this thing time. Relationship can be intense when it starts, especially at that age, but because of time, they can change. So the mother needs to keep on ensuring. I think I read in that note that you sent that the mother wants to meet the girl. That will also be good. That would be good, so that the mother can also speak to the girl. If the parents are also aware, and I discovered also from the side that the story came from, there is an early marriage there. And so if the parents need to get to know themselves as a result of culture, that will be okay. And that will guide these two, this boy and girl, to be able to ensure that they do what is right, so that they don't misbehave as of now, and allow their relationship to grow, because relationship can change over time. That's what I would say. Meanwhile,
Thank you so very much, Professor Wale, and welcome to the program. Mrs. Adedoyin Shola is with us on the program. Mrs. Shola,
Good,
you,
good
you,
evening.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, we love this environment. We love the life. Oh, it's beautiful. It is.
Thank you.
No, don't go away. Don't go away. You've muted yourself. You're gone off camera.
Oh, okay.
Please come back on camera. So, yes,
Yeah.
this case, because let me not say the story, this case, this issue, because actually it's, I should put here, it's a mother asking for help, all right? Asking for help in this regard. You've had Professor Wale, you've had Bolu maybe, and the question is the boy who says to the mother, "Mom, can I have the moon?" Should the boy have the moon, please, Mrs. Shola?
Good evening, everybody. Well, my take in this is, number one, I want to ask, where is the father in this respect? Because since is the boy we're talking about here, I know most boys are very close to their mother. I'm not going to dispute that. At the same time, this is a very critical decision that he wants to take here. And I think the father voice should be very important. Number one, he's a minor. And personally, the first thing that should be on his mind is his studies, because that is actually what will give him the leverage at the end of the day in terms of taking care of the family and all whatnot. Something that will give him skill to be able to go forward in life. I think that should be the bone of contention. That should be the place of counseling for him here. Well, it's not for me. It's not a misnomer or something that is out of the ordinary for him to have a feeling for a girl. At the same time, I think it should be properly guided to let him know that first thing first, we have to set priorities here. What are your priorities? What do you have? What are your goals? What are your visions? What do you want to be? I think that should be the first thing. Because if eventually, just like Professor Salmi said, eventually love takes over and they put themselves in family way, it bounces back to the family. So I'm asking the question again: where is the father here to also lend a voice to what is happening, or what the feelings of the boy? And to think that it's for me, it could be just a feeling that would that should be allowed to go away with a little bit of counseling and letting him know that there should be priorities in his moves. You know, they should let him know who he is right now and what he wants to. He should be asked the question, what he wants to become. That's talking about his vision and his move. So trying to help him to maybe amplify his feeling. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to ask the mother to help him to do that. You should help him to set priorities, and of course, prayerfully. There's nothing that prayer cannot do. We have to prayerfully also help him in this matter. That's
Okay.
my.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Shola. I'm going to ask you a straight question, Bolu, if you are with us. Bolu, are you with us? I'm going to ask you a straight question.
Yes, I'm with you. Sorry.
Okay, Professor Yowale let that cat out of. Well, it was actually not a cat that was in the bag, because that bag was in the public domain. Because you all read the stories before we came in here. You know, with the mother, is it right for the mother to say, "Bring the girl to me"? Bolu.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think that it improves the mother's um circle of influence. No, her power of influence. Yes, it does. Because there's a lot that she can quickly assess, um, just by seeing her, engaging her, speaking with her. So two examples come to mind for me. There was a time that my only daughter had this person in her class. She was KG2, not even nursery 1 yet. And the person was always all over her. And when she said to talk, they'll do exchange of gifts during Valentine's and stuff like that. So I remember that he told his mom that he had a crush, right? And everybody in class was just like, hey, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And I was like, sincerely speaking, it wasn't me pretending. It didn't mean anything much to me. I didn't feel alarmed. I wasn't alarmed like at all. I just sat them down, laughed,
Okay,
and said,
how
"Oh
old?
my
How
goodness!"
old? What was the age at that time? What's the age?
By three and a half, they just barely started talking. 3.5, 4.
Oh, okay.
So from my inquiry and my conversation with them, I realized that they had older ones, teenagers. Apparently, there's this Disney channel that's actually for teenagers that for their age they shouldn't have been watching, because a teenage channel, but they were watching it. So they were already used to the lingua and the vocabulary of that, right? So when he had a fuzzy feeling, that's what it is really. He just automatically called it a crush. And the matter is that as we all grow older, we've had instances, even the same sex, not just even opposite sex now, where we are genuinely fond of people. People just come into your life and you just smile. Your face lights up when you see them. You don't genuinely feel very excited at their presence. That's being fond of someone. And it's a natural human feeling, the natural human response. I think that popular culture has not done us good because they have put vocabularies in our mouth that have skewed us towards negative path that we never would have even thought of. In those days, when somebody does that to you, your parents will tickle you up like, they will laugh at you. They, the Omanese, and they're like, Giniko, yeah, worship. They'll make fun of you that, whenever you see her, that you're shy and everything. It's fondness. And that is the most naive, real, true, simple, innocent, purest forms of love that you can get. It's not infatuation. It's nothing sexual. There's nothing romantic about
Bolu,
it.
I get your drift along those lines. Now let's come back to this
To the subject.
17-year-old. Yes, we understand the 3.5-year-old there. Yes, there's nothing to be alarmed about around that,
Yeah.
really. But then this 17-year-old who says, I can't do without her. Yes, I
Okay,
can't
so
do without her. Go ahead, please.
I was saying that there are many layers to it, and so my questions will determine what next to get out of that
Can you
conversation.
ask those questions?
Okay, so truth of the matter is that even at 17, there's a possibility that they have not been carnal with one another. They have not had sex with one another. It's possible that they've not had any kind of sexual relationship at all. It's even possible that they have not even as so much as hugged or kissed. That is a possibility. So your mind running wild to the worst of possibilities might just make him carve in and close up. So you really want to know exactly, you don't want to make assumptions. I want to be certain. What am I dealing with here? To what extent? How well have you known her? Tell me what your typical day with her is like. I just want to know what your typical day is like. What has she done that has endeared you towards her so much that you feel that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Do you know what the rest of your life really is? Please excuse me. I'm sorry, there's a pressure cooker on. I've asked them to shut the door. My apologies. I really want
It's
to
part of the
for
parenting.
sure.
We are doing slow parenting. Go ahead.
I just want to be certain. What about her intrigues you? What about her catches your fancy? What do you think she's going to be with you for the long haul?
Sorry, Bolu. I'm sorry to stop you again. I'm sorry to come in again.
Okay.
Now, the question is, the mother says, bring her to me.
To me, yes.
So there's something physical now. This is not an assumption now. This is not a phantom that's somewhere that the mother cannot. From the description of the young man, the mother actually knows the girl's family. Okay? So he now says, when I return home, when you come home, bring her to me. Okay? Yeah, I asked, was it right for the mother to say, bring her to me? You said yes. Why would you want, you said it gives her more leverage and all, authority and all of that. My own words now, you didn't use the word authority. Okay? So why exactly would you think it was okay for the mother? Remember, you said, first of all, I'll be shocked, then repulsed. I think I had the word repulsed earlier. So from those kinds of feelings to now, okay, bring her to me. What would lead you to say, bring her to me?
Again, I have asked my son a couple of questions. I have an idea, faint idea, of where his head is at, where his heart is, where his general mindset is. It's important that I also feel what the girl's current state of mind is about the subject matter in question. About what's the subject of love, which is love, as in you called it love. I want to be certain. I want to understand what your definition of love is in real terms, in practical ways, in functional ways. How would you both know that you love one another? What has he done to show you that he loves you? What has he done to make you determined to bring out that level of commitment to, for the long haul? How long is long for you? How long is long for you? Is 2 years long, 5 years long, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 50? You know what long really is? If Jesus tarries and you have a good long life, you're going to have at least another 70 years in marriage. At least not to scare them at all, but just to give them perspective, right? So I have that conversation with her. Hopefully that can help us to lead to having conversations with members of our family, again, depending on the need to escalate or de-escalate. So if I realize it's something that I can handle by just talking to both of them, then it fizzles and I put their head in the right space and I think I'm good. But if, I realize that it would require escalation to her parents, then we'll go that route as well.
Thank you so very much. Well, here is some additives to the mix, that might make it a little bit more palatable or delicious, or rather edible. Sorry. Now, the mother has said, bring her to me. Okay. Do the parents know about this development? The boy says yes. Okay. Does the girl know that you have just finished secondary school? Because let's not lose sight of that side of the whole story. Okay. Does the girl know that you are just finishing from secondary school? He says yes. Now, assuming the mother say, like Bolu, you said yes, it's okay. The mother is right to say bring her. Assuming he brings her and he sits two of them down, it's like, oh, we love ourselves, we love ourselves. Should we love ourselves? We love ourselves be what should be discussing with a 17-year-old fresh high school. He's not even graduated yet, just wrote the exam. You don't know if you will pass. Okay? Should I love you be a thing of focus? I know, but Doyin has mentioned to say, okay, they should share their priorities, right? So you already has said the same thing, but putting all of that in perspective now. I mean, I came to you because you went from I will be shocked, I will be now, okay, it's okay to bring them up. Now, when you have now listened to both of them and it's like truly, wow, we're in love, we're okay. You don't have any equipment to measure the volume of the we love ourselves. But there are some other social conditions that we should and must use to measure and then be able to channel what could, should, and need to happen in that scenario. You've mentioned one of them, and the answer to that one of them is if the parents of the young man, their position, the young man says yes, the parents of the girl no. Okay? And from the part of the world that this is happening, like Professor Wallace said earlier on, early marriage is not frowned at. You understand? Like that. But the point here is this young man comes from, let me leave maybe a clearer background. This young man comes from a family of educated people. The two elder brothers, one has graduated from university already. I think the other one's maybe about rounding up. Okay. The other family members that are professional, educated professionals within their family. So it's not a family of, and this is the last born of the family. Is it the last born syndrome?
Okay, so I'm not the last one. I know that I've heard so often that there's something called the last born syndrome, just like there is for the first born syndrome. But again, like many labels in life, they're just that, they're just labels, right? They're just stereotypes. More often than not, there'll be somebody that is skewed outside of the graph, that does not conform to the characteristics of those labels. So I'm usually very careful to say, something is a last born syndrome or first born syndrome. Having said that, nonetheless, maybe for statistical reasons, perhaps it might be a last born syndrome where he's always felt like he's told what to do. He just wants to get out of that feeling of overwhelm of like I can be my own man in good time. If you want to be your own man, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just that he's not assigning his energies, I guess, to the right things. And under that circumstance, sometimes you just open their eyes literally to see. So some things that perhaps I would not have had, conversation I would not have had, things like money, real money conversations, like what it takes to have a house, what it takes to run a home, what it takes to prepare breakfast, what it takes to have a baby, what it takes, like very specific, intricate things, because you opened that door, young man, so we're going to walk right through it. So all of the things that were supposed to have been left for later, those conversations might have to start happening right away. So perhaps if I can open your eyes to what the responsibilities attached to that decision is, you might be able to be, because you are more informed, you are better informed, you are better equipped. Hopefully you can retrace your steps and say like, okay, maybe I should hold this thought off a bit. I'm also aware that some people had relationships from being teenagers and 20 years after they got married. So relationships like that exist. So I'm not going to immediately make it seem as if it's a bad thing, but it's just the timing of it. To say, you know what, I trust that all that we have talked about, all our family values are still in your head and in your heart. You've not thrown them away. But I was just checking with all the questions that I asked. But I've asked those questions, you give me those answers. Hey, young lady, look at the way I am. And then use myself as an example for all of the bad decisions and choices that I have made and the consequences that I had to live with. No matter how people love you, when you have an injury, every other person around you will say sorry, take you to the hospital, but the primary pain is yours alone to bear. And that young man and young lady, no matter how much we love you as parents, when push comes to shove, when shit hits the fan, you're going to be all by yourself. So this is just opening your mind's eye to all of the possibilities. And that's it's a reason why people are encouraged to become adults. It's not just for age, but for maturity, for self-reliance, for self-regulation, all of the things that adulting, comprises are the reasons why we encourage you to wait. So yes, who says you can't marry her in another 10, 15 years? You may, but perhaps not just now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so very much. And there it is, people. We're just going to take a short break now. When we come back, we are going to go into the meatier part of this discussion because Bolu has just opened it up. He says now you have to open their eyes to the real issues that living in eternity should mean. Okay, the real meat of the eternity stuff. Don't go away, please stay. We're going to short break now. We'll come back.
The original Nigerian pepper soup. I tell you, like it, you love it.
That's fish soup right there, man. Get that. That's very good. Super spicy, super sweet.
We can put the
It makes it very tasty.
Thank you so very much for staying with us on slow parenting. Before we went on that short break, we were looking at the issue of this young man who went to ask his mother for permission to go get the moon. Okay, as in get into a relationship with a college student where he still is a high school student, as it were. And before we went on the break, Bolu just talked about the idea or the need to open the eyes of the young people, the two young people, to the real issues in relationships, especially male-female relationship between the ones that say we want to be with ourselves to eternity, want to define eternity. Now, so Dr. Wale, I want to ask this question here, sir, if you are with us, or okay, I can see Mrs. Shola is unmuted. Mrs. Shola, can you come on camera? We need to be sure you are with us. Okay, now, from Bolu's last contribution, she said open their eyes, which means put everything on the table, okay? Now, should reproductive health issues be part of this discussion at this time?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. You know, talk about productive health, that should have even been something that they should have lived with for years. You know, I'm talking about from very early age. They should have been
No,
taught.
even if those information, because from what we know about the story, the young man and the mother have the communication relationship with them is open. And if I must also say something else here, the mother has a medical background. Okay, so it's possible that those, but I'm saying at this point, now that you've seen that we are talking about the moon and the eternity, should we now say, okay, guys, now, okay, that eternity, does it include these other areas? Then maybe we should be discussing this, we should be looking at this. So what should be in that discussion at this point?
No, every possibility should be on the table. Everything. There shouldn't be any borders, so that they will know exactly what they're going to. Because this calls for accountability, and for instance, if they are hell bent in going ahead, well, they should also know the consequences of their actions. So everything should be laid on the table, just like Bolu said. Everything should be laid on the table, but above all, they should also be counseled on the fact that one thing comes before the other. I'm still very, very particular about putting priorities in place because of future. Because I know, some of these things could just be, okay, Romeo and Juliet now. When the chips are down, Juliet will be on her way out. Romeo will be on his way out. So everything has to be on the table. Everything, every possibilities. And then they should also be opened to the consequences of whatever actions they intend to take.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. I'll just let me just tell a little story here as a backdrop, even to when we were. Bolu, please turn on camera, please. Please, thank you. When we had written the mock, in Nigeria, you have the mock examination for your high school before you write your external high school. We had just finished writing our mock, and the school principal now asked to have a meeting with us, with the entire final year students. And he comes into the class and sits down. His name was Mr. J.O. Alake. His son is one of those in government there in Nigeria, right? All right. And he was like, he said, your name, yes, you. I know that some of you this is your girlfriend, right? That sheepishly, you can't say yes. They no born you well to say yes. Principal, you say that's your boyfriend. The guy will go. That is, I say, look, let me tell you people one thing now. And I'm also by extension talking to this young man and talking to any other young man in that category and any other parents within that might have this kind of issues. We're not discussing it because we just want to tell stories. We're sharing this to help families. Okay. Now, he said, let me tell you all of you. He said, all of you are deceiving yourself. We looked at ourselves and looked at him. He said, you're deceiving yourself. He said, let me tell you, you young men, do you have jobs? Do you have money in the bank? Do you have your own house? That you can take this your girlfriend now to when you live here now. He said, open your eyes and wake up to reality. He said, by the time you write your school cert and leave this school, this your girlfriend can readily marry a made man, a millionaire, that can set her up and all of that and all of that. Can you do that? So stop dreaming so you don't get disappointed, you don't get hurt emotionally. Your friends, well, the last times you might see yourselves might be at the day you finish your last papers. Okay? So just know that it's your friend. Don't tie yourselves up. Put your mind, especially you boys. He was emphatic about this, especially you boys. The girls might be ready to get married, to get into a relationship. Are you? Do you have what it takes to maintain a relationship with a female? You might like the person, yes, well done, but then can you sustain that likeness? Okay, so with that now, Professor Wale, if I know you are still with us, not if you are still with us, I know you're with us. Now, what are the specific counsel that we should give to these two young people now? Remember, the mother has said, bring her. They are not there. The mother is there with them. Okay? What should we tell these young people?
Now, you see, when I spoke the other time, there were quite a lot of things I spoke about.
Yes.
I mentioned the issue of personal growth and development, which is that boy needs to redirect his energy. And that your story vividly just summarize all the things that we are talking about. The girl can get married anytime, but the boys cannot because they still need to build their lives and home. If you don't have a good life, there's no way you can build a home. And was Mrs. not Bolu. What's
Yes,
the name
don't
of
say Doyin. Doyin is okay. She's okay with Doyin. I'm sure.
as that? There is, and I said something that there is. Thank God that the mother has a good relationship with the boy, and therefore they are need to sit down with that boy so that the boy can redirect his energy, channel his energy into how to organize his future, so that he'll be able to, explore his interest and his talent positively for him to become a real man that can manage a home and manage a woman. And so, and also, just like Mr. Adedoyin said, and I think Bolu mentioned it, what are his future goals? That needs to be also discussed. So, in terms of his aspiration, so that we'll be helping to see that this relationship is just a small chapter in his life that may not even endure with time. So that all of these need to be passed to the boy, even though based on that story, which I said, from the culture where he comes from, they marry early, but then bringing it up, because you see, there is this thing, is a 70-year-old boy deeply in love with a year one university student. Normally, they are both experiencing an intense phase of adolescence and development, which is normal. And so, because of that, there is need for the parents, especially the mother of the boy, to address that important feeling with empathy, with understanding. But it is also very crucial that he should be guided towards a healthy perspective and help him to develop a future oriented mindset so that he will know, just like that Mr. Lucky principal said, that the girl can settle quickly, but the boy has a longer time. And that reproductive health will need to be brought in, just like you said, so that if they start having sexual intercourse and anything happens, the girl gets pregnant, the boy should be ready to be a father. And that might even stop his own academic something, and the lady academic might also be stopped. All of this need to be put in the right perspective through that trust that is there between mother and the boy to keep discussing so that the boy will be educated about relationship, about his own growth, about how to redirect his energy. There are other things he could redirect his adolescent energy to, like developing hobbies, sports, and other apart from academic pursuits. So these are all the things that we need to advise at this instance. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Professor. We are just being joined now by Mrs. Tun Aderele. Tun, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
We still need to see your beautiful face. Yes. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
We will find you for appearing late.
You don't want to know what's
No,
going
it's
on
okay.
here.
It's okay. Now, you met us at. We are looking at the issue of that 17-year-old who is asking his mother for permission to go get the moon, get into a relationship, an undergraduate. And then we are getting to the point now that we are saying, okay, the mother has said, okay, go and bring her. The three of them are there. So what, you are the mother now, so what should you be saying to both of them?
Oh, the mother said to the boy, go and bring the girlfriend.
Yes, bring her, next you come, bring her to me. I want to say, okay, they have come there. Now that's the point at which we are now. What would you are the mother? What would you be saying? What's your take? Generally, then what would you be saying?
That's a difficult one for me because in the first place, I don't think I would tell my 17-year-old boy to go and bring his girlfriend. I probably, knowing myself, I probably would not allow him to go and bring his girlfriend. First of all, I would like to understand his mindset, what he's thinking. He needs to let me know, because at 17, I do not expect that that kind of relationship should be happening. But you see,
kind of relationship? It must be somebody she likes, maybe you are even dropping the gun, maybe
okay, perhaps I agree. Perhaps I'm thinking a little too far. But you see, so if he brings the girl, if that eventually happens, I would sit both of them down and talk to them and tell them the implication of extending whatever it is that they have between them. I'll just ask them to keep it platonic,
What does platonic mean? Some of us didn't go to school. What does platonic mean?
Just your female friend and your male friend. Their male and female must coexist, somehow, whether in school, whether at work, whether in the road, whether in business. You will meet male friends, the male will meet the female as well. So yes, I would tell them to just let it be what it is. It won't be nice for them to push it a little further to get conjugal, and I tell them why.
What if they're now at that point and there's a talk or thought of conjugation of intercourse. Now, what would you do? What would you be advising them? What would you be saying to them?
Well, what I would say to them, I would just the consequences of their actions. So if they're not going to keep it platonic, they want to move it a little forward, they need to realize that then they're going to be playing house. So, the things that mommy and daddy do, if you want to do those things, then you should be prepared.
What are the things that mommy and daddy? We're here. We're talking to people. We want to help people understand.
Okay, so if they want to become conjugal,
yeah,
if they want to become conjugal, there is a tendency that the girl may get pregnant.
Okay.
Now, if the girl gets pregnant, he becomes a father.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if they will keep the child. I'm not an advocate for abortion. So, if the girl gets pregnant, as far as I'm concerned, she's going to go to full term. Now, if that happens, they're going to have a child between them. So he becomes the father and she becomes a mother at an age where they haven't even discovered themselves, unfortunately. But you see, they never will understand it except they experience it. So sometimes, if you let it be and they get into it, that's when they understand what you were saying. So at that point, for me, I tell them, look, you decided to take the decision. I had already schooled you. I told you the consequences. You damned the consequences. You decided to take this action, and the result for the action you have to face. I would not encourage any parent at that point to take up the responsibility of the child, since the child has decided to become a parent. So just parent your child. The only thing that I would do as a mother to the girl or the boy is, advise them, and just try to shoot them when necessary. But I won't take on the responsibility of another child. I won't do that.
All right, thank you so much. So you are like, okay, you're going to want to know how they got to where they are and where they are going with it. Now, as we round up the program now, I'm going to ask each of us, please, just to take a minute to just say, what would you advocate as a necessary risk taking that young people could engage in? A male and female, in a male and female relationship, what kind of risks would you say are necessary for a girl to take in a relationship with a boy, or the necessary kind of what you consider a necessary risk a boy could take in a relationship with a girl?
Is to be having
okay. Go ahead, Professor Wally. Sorry, go.
Sex, unsafe sex. That's an unnecessary risk, because Mrs. Stone has really elaborated on it. The consequences of that is that each of their status is going to change. The boy will suddenly become a father, and a girl will suddenly turn a mother, and the future mindset, everything will stop. They will need to take care of the baby. So unsafe sex is highly risky. It can change destiny, and I've seen destinies of people that it has changed. They never come out of.
Okay, so what would you advocate as a necessary? That's unnecessary risk. Okay, what would you advocate as a necessary, unavoidable risk such young people could take in such, circumstances as they grow up around those ages? Hello, sir.
Me?
Yes, sir. What would you say would be, a necessary and unavoidable risk that young people that age, there's nothing you can do about it, they can exploit?
No, of course they need to. You cannot debar them from being friends. They need to explore friendship. They need to explore relationship. But in doing that, there is need to ensure that if they do anything that is unconsequential, they will have to bear the risk. So I won't debar them from making friends. So I'm a father of boys. In those days, I will tell my boys, bring your girlfriend home. I want to see your girlfriend. They'll be laughing at me. Say, Daddy, you are a pastor. I say, I want to know you. I know you are meeting girls outside. Bring them home. Let me see them. Let them come and greet us here. So it's just so that at least we know whom they are keeping a relationship with, and then be able to guide them properly. So basically,
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Shola, what would you consider a necessary risk or an unavoidable risk that maybe such young people could pursue?
Well, from my side, I think they should start looking for how to settle down in future. That's a risk that they have to begin to look at. If they want to go on that lane, they should begin to look for, that means they have to look for how they're going to get money and settle down in future. That is one risk that they should pursue. It's a hard knot, but I think that's the risk.
Okay,
I'm not going to carry their burden.
You won't give them the money, eh? All right, Bolu, what would you say? Well, 17, maybe 18. Well, this is a necessary risk. You can't avoid it. Let's see. What would that be for you?
Okay, so for me, I think it's just to allow them to explore within healthy boundaries, and
What
to
would
explain to them boundaries be. Okay, so to attend maybe leadership camps, for instance. I don't want to use the word religious, but that's what it is. Most of the time, religious organizations are the ones that create those kind of avenues to have campsites and everything where teenagers and young adolescents can mix and like relate and engage. Because that quickly shows them in very practical, meaningful ways how to interact with people, to have varying opinions, to be assertive, to stand up for what you want, to have expectations, to get betrayed. Like the dynamics of human relationship comes to fore, would play out usually in those kinds of environments. So for me, it would be ease them into the real world, if you get what I mean. So from home, they've been at home for so long, they're going into institutions. Before they get there and are totally confronted with these things, better to ease them into it. I know that I had that problem. I went to a girls only school. And then after that, I find out all the time I was in girls only school, all my friends were usually guys because my brother, I had 2 elder brothers. So they were always my other brother's friends. I always had people that were older than me as friends. Remember when I just got out, I was so sure that I knew what love is. I was so sure. Nobody could tell me otherwise. No, I know what love is because, and I was wrong. So for benefit of hindsight, they say 2020, right? Benefit of hindsight now, I can say that I was very wrong. And because of that, I'm very intentional to say to my kids, to show them, to lay my hands bare, say, this is me. These are all the errors I made, errors of judgment, errors of indiscipline, errors of not listening, errors of cockiness, arrogance, name it. I use the words as they are. I don't sugarcoat them at all. And this was a foolish decision. This was a stupid, we don't call each other stupid, but if you're referring to the decision of the choice, that was a stupid choice. So I say it as it is, so that you can see that, again, when you do something, the motive, the reason why your parents talk to you, they might not be as fluent and as fluid and as, tushed, but they know a lot, and believe you me, they have your best interest at heart. So I think for me, it's about easing them, creating avenues where you can ease them into society so they can become streetwise, if you get what I mean, before being confronted suddenly with all of the things that society will throw at them.
Thank you so much, Bolu. And so, finally, in 1 minute, what would be that acceptable risk-taking venture that you would think that young people that age could, engage in?
Well, I want to completely agree with Bolu. I think there couldn't be anything better. I was trying to think, when you asked the question, and then when she came up with what she just said, I think that that's really the best thing that's the best that you could give to them. Tell them your life experiences, tell them where you made mistakes, tell them the consequences for the mistakes you made. I'm sure they wouldn't like to hear the consequences, especially if they're not good. And they want to learn.
Consequences are usually not good. When we say consequences,
consequences, okay, yes. So that's really, just tell them what the consequences were, in detail, and tell them, you just lay it bare, So, that may just be a deterrent to them. They may think twice, and not make the same mistakes. Look, it is human to make mistakes. And, all of the things we're discussing tonight is very human. It's human to feel for someone of the opposite sex, at a particular age. There's absolutely nothing wrong in it. But you see, you need to know where to draw the line. As soon as you are able to draw the line, and that comes with a lot of guidance and counseling and all of that support, from your parents and and all of that. It's a collective effort, really. So, if you are able to do that for the child, I think you've done like 50% of it. We must realize, or we must accept something. This generation is completely different. The way they're wired is completely different. They're thinking everything is completely. So sometimes, you may just need to stoop to conquer. You may need to be speaking their language. If you want to use your language to speak to them, they just may not understand it. But yeah, I think that's just the best thing that one can do.
Thank you so very much, people. Thank you, Tone. That's so wonderful. Parents, well, and young people listening to us, have heard it. Now, to just round all of this up, there is nothing wrong with having a female friend if you're a guy, if you're a boy. There's nothing wrong with having a male friend if you're a girl. What the issue is what you do what you do with those friends. Okay, that's what the issue is. There's nothing wrong, for instance, with a young boy going out on a date with the word date is not dirty. It's what happens within. These are the talking points that parents should, and I'm happy for this mother because she has started up the initiative. She has set up what we advocate at Slow Parenting here, that you should create an enabling environment for your children to be your first point of call when they have issues. And thank God that I mean, it's all good that for this particular young man, he went to the mother first. And let's also be thankful that the mother too was not Bolu. Okay? The mother was not Bolu. To say, look, I'll be shocked. She might actually also be, but then she just might have just like masked it, and just to kind of be nice in order not to lose the son. And they went into that conversation. Okay, well, what's her name? Does she know your level? Do her parents know that yes, the boy was yes. The only one thing he said no to was how old is she? He didn't know, which meant there was still a room. So please, parents, we came up with this today. We are not judging the young man. No. We are not judging the young woman. No. We are commending all of them for bringing this out in the open. That says, young man, young woman, don't hide things from your parents. You know who you are going to go to at the end of the day when push comes to shove, according to Bolu? They are the ones. Or they're the ones who are going to go look for those, disposable nappies for first before, even in the anger. Okay? And parents, please, when you have your teenage children walk up to you to present to you real issues about, whether you think it's infatuation, you think it's a crush or Fanta or Coke, no, please know that there are things you must remove the gloves at that point. You must discuss specific issues in sexual and reproductive health. Get to the last bus stop and say, well, in case you guys have entered this bus and you want to travel along this route, this is the last bus. This is the name of the last bus stop. It's called baby. And when you now have baby, like has been said on the program, you suddenly become a mother when you didn't even plan to become one. You suddenly become a father when you didn't plan to become one. But let's also not jump to conclusions, parents, because that's the problem some of us adults, some of us parents have. Our children come to us asking for a toy aeroplane. We're thinking about where we're going to get money to buy a jetliner for them. Okay? The young man has come. I have, sit them down. Like all the resource persons have, presented already. I'm just summarizing. Know where they're coming from. Know where they are at. And then use your own experiences in relationship. It's okay, this is where you are. Okay. Are you aware that this road could also lead to this, to that? Okay. Right now, you both of you are in school. You, my son, you should at least plan to go and meet her in the university first. Okay. Yes. Plan to pass. Yeah. You pass, and then sit for your examination to get into the university. A plan to go and meet you, young woman. Is your friend fine, beautiful? Please help me encourage him to read so he can come and join you in the university. All right, at least do that for me. Tell him, right? Okay, yeah, you are dating me, it's good, but it will be good so that even if it's for you to see me more often, okay, pass jump or get that qualification, pass that exam that takes you to also be in the university. Everybody will be progressing, It could work out at the end, and the young man gets his moon. Okay? Meaning he wants to be with her for eternity. The eternity for each of us don't go beyond when we answer the home call. That will be our eternity. It could be that, yes, this relationship, or they are 17, maybe 18. Oh, this is unheard of. This cannot happen. Well, depending on the culture, depending on circumstances, depending on the situation, we have looked at everything here. The important thing is give them the parental guidance that they need to focus on study, on self, improvement, career, and then they can go ahead to have their move. So that's our program for today, people. We are so grateful about and for your being with us here today on the program. By the way, next episode, we are not running away from our children. Next episode, we are going to be looking at something else that is still along those lines. Someone sent me a video. Okay? It's a video of some young people arriving at their secondary school for their prom. All of them arriving in flashy cars, in an environment that is, strewn with poverty, with deprivation, and especially at this time, with all sorts of social disturbances and pains. Where were the parents of those children? Who gave them those cars to arrive at those places? We're not going to go into that discussion today, but we say that's our discussion for the next episode. Our children, we've talked about what are those risk factors. Those are those risks that our children must necessarily take. Should risk include giving them the wrong impressions about life? No, that's not what we encourage in this program, okay? But we are not going into that discussion today. That will be our discussion for next week. How should your children celebrate their landmarks? Okay? Till we come your way again next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African Time, including Nigeria. Stay well, and remember, parenting is a full-time, lifetime job. You can't resign. Okay? Stay at it. Keep loving, keep supporting, okay? And keep following Slow Parenting. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead and a weekend, okay? Bye-bye.
Slow parenting is simplicity parenting. Simplicity parenting.
We want to discourage a particular behavior, right? We want to deter that behavior from occurring in the future. And so we apply.
So we are talking about simplicity. We are also talking, remember that your children want to be you. They're not talking about that person that's out.
Exceptions to every rule, and no matter the best or the most noble of mirroring that we do modeling, sometimes they veer off. I know that there are exceptions.
Is focus on quality time rather than the other type of parenting where you look at